Hey guys, welcome to my first video on Python and its basics. In this video, I'm going to show you a menu-driven Python program that stores and displays student information. We'll also understand how the program runs internally, how classes work, and how objects are stored in a list. By the end of this video, you'll understand how to create a class in Python, creating objects, storing objects inside a list, and how a menu-driven program works using loops. So let's get started. Alright, so let me help you understand this Python menu-driven program, and that this particular program can be broken up into two different segments. First, it's a class student which contains two methods. First, a default constructor, and the second, a method display underscore info. And the second segment, which is an infinite loop, which contains the main program, that is the menu-driven program, which is responsible for inserting students, displaying them, and exiting the loop. So I'll just close this second segment and first explain the first segment first. So that's too many firsts, but anyway, what is a class? A class, you can say, is a way of grouping certain related like items, or in technical terms you can say it as data attributes or data behaviors. Data behaviors is what we call as methods. A method, for example, display underscore info here, and attributes like name, age, grade of a student. Now a class, you can say, is a way to group related data behaviors or attributes into one single logical unit, that single logical unit being student. Now student has different attributes: name, age, grade, and inside a class we always have a default constructor. Even if you don't mention it, that default constructor is always there, and it is initialized as soon as you create an object of that class. Now this default constructor is given the name underscore underscore init underscore underscore. I haven't given it the name. Python already gives it that keyword init to mention that this is a default constructor. We also have parameterized constructors, but in this particular program we only have a default constructor. Now all methods, including the default constructor, contains a parameter called self. Why self? Why do we need to use it? When you've got a bunch of things made from the same blueprint, a class, you can say, which is of type student, self is how Python keeps them straight. It makes sure that when you use a method to mess with stuff like name or age, you're only changing that one specific thing's data, not everyone else's, and not the original blueprint itself, just that data, just that object's data rather. So that it is a default constructor, it contains 4 parameters, the first having self, which helps initialize all its attributes, and 3 other parameters: name, age, and grade. Now the second method, which is display underscore info, also contains the keyword self as a parameter, and this method is only responsible for one task: displaying the name, age, and the grade of that student. Moving on to the second segment, we see in line 11, double underscore name double underscore checks if it is equal to double underscore main double underscore ensures that the code only runs when the file is executed directly. In line 12, we create a list students where we enter only objects for students. Only student objects are entered in that list. Moving to line number 14, in this infinite loop, we keep running 3 options: inserting a student, displaying in, and exiting the loop. We have a choice which we use to input. Now, notice here, we did not do any typecasting. Had we done any typecasting with integer or boolean type, it would have been a different input that we had to give. But since we did not mention any input, Python allows us that by default it will take of type string. So when you enter choice and you put 1, this 1 value that you give is of type string, not integer, not float, not double. And that 1 string is entered as a choice type, as a choice input. Now, if we had chosen 1, that means that we will be asked to enter name, age, and grade. Now, this is what I call typecasting. Over here, line 24, age is given as type integer. The input age is entered, and that value is not stored in the reference variable age. It is stored in the object which is present in the heap memory. Now the memory address that is in that object is contained in the reference variable age, which is present in the name, which is in the namespace, and that is in turn present in the stack memory. Now name and grade, which is taking the input string type, is entered for the student. In line 27, we create an object student from the class type student, which is taking 3 parameters: name, age, and grade. So when we create an object, we take all 3 inputs, and we take those 3 inputs as an object and we append it to the list of students, which is what we declared in line 12. This students has now the first item list. Thereon, after you successfully add that item, inserted the item as a student, we print that it has been added successfully. Now if we had chosen choice 2, and if it checks that the students list is empty, it would have shown that there is nothing to display. That is, in Python with the syntax we write as if not students. That means if students list is empty. If not, that means if students list has something to display, it has at least one object or more, then it will show that these are the student details, and it will print the loop one after another for all the objects, and it will call the display function which contains a print function that is going to display the name, age, and the grade of the student. Had we chosen choice 3, which is to exit the loop, that means we come out of this while true. And once we come out of it, we will not be displayed these 3 options, rather these 4 print functions anymore. And the default for all these menu options is if we had chosen any other number, we had chosen 0 or 4 or anything which is not between 1 to 3, then we would have been shown this choice. So let me print it out or execute this using the Python 3 command and the name of the file with the py extension, which stands for Python. I am entering a student 1, choice 1. The name I give as Dion, age say 26, grade A. Now it shows that a student has successfully been added. Let me add another. I go for choice 1. I add the name as Raj, age say 29, grade S say, and say we want to now display the students. Go for choice 2. What we are displayed is that the student details, which is in line 35, and it goes for the display function using the object S. So here is what we have the output displayed. Now say if I give any other choice, say 4, which is not in this list of menu options, then it would have said that invalid choice, please enter 1, 2 or 3. And if I want to exit the loop, even if I press 0, it will say the same thing. You have to go anything between 1 to 3. Say if I choose 3, it exits the loop saying exiting program and this emoticon. Feel free to ask me anything based on this program. Do list out your questions on the comments below and stay tuned.